We are live. Yes. Here we go. Here we go. Yes, guys, as you're jumping on, just drop a wee comment in, give us a wee fist bump, say hello. Buzzing for tonight's live. Charlie Adam, Dundee boy, took his career to the absolute pinnacle of the sport. Yeah, and still going strong, 34, smashing it in. So, yes, here we go. But before we even get started, and I bring Charlie on, he's just sitting there waiting. How we doing, Mikey? All right, mate? Gaza, how are you, mate? Before we bring him on, guys, hit that share button. If you're on Facebook, get it shared out, because obviously this is going to be a super powerful story, inspiring as anything. I want to be sharing it with as many people as I possibly can. If you are on YouTube, hit that subscribe. And if you've got any comments and questions as we go through, they're going to come up on my screen, and I could pass them over to Charlie as well. So, spot on, Stuarty, spot on, Cooney, brilliant. Let's do this. Here we go. Charlie, we're live, mate. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks. You okay?
Yes, brilliant, my man. Brilliant. So, first of all, mate, thanks a lot for coming on. Spot on, my man.
No, it's been good. It's been a while. I know you've been trying to get me on for a bit, but it's taken a while. But I'm here now, and hopefully can answer a few questions and keep it going, and I hope people enjoy what the start of it to where hopefully it ends in my career and what I've done in my life.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. So, how's things been going anyway? With a lockdown and that, first of all, being at the game.
Well,
yeah.
Listen, when it all come around, it was tough. The good thing that came out of it for me was I was managed to be able to spend a bit of time at home. I'd obviously living in London and family and wife, kids, up in Blackpool living. It was tough, but to be able to spend 8-9 weeks there every day and back to normal life, it was good. But listen, I'm a football player. I want to get back playing, and I was lucky that I managed to train 5 days a week, just for the mind, basically, just to keep it going. I was training an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, and in the morning, just trying to keep a routine of what I would do if I was training. So it was that was an important bit, and I managed to do that, and now we're back. Hopefully, going to be playing the next week or so, and hopefully we can get a few results.
That's good, man. Did the club give you a programme, Charlie, or were you did you need to set that up yourself?
No, they gave us a programme, but because I had before the lockdown, I was ill, and then I hadn't played for a few games, so I felt I used it as a mini pre-season again myself. I just knew from day one. I said, right, I'm just going to go and use it as a pre-season, 7-8 weeks. And do you know what? I'm going to have a hit for 9 weeks of the games and blah, blah, hopefully. And I just used it, like you say, as a fitness pre-season, come back in good shape, felt fit, feel fit, and just ready to go, and used it as a different sort of mindset from the other players that might have took it as a rest or whatever. I just thought, do you know what? I'm just going to batter on, and it's paid off, hopefully.
Definitely, mate, because I said that to you as soon as you came on before we even came live. You're looking fit, you're looking strong, mate.
No, I am. I've done a lot of work with a fitness guy that I know, Dave Mendonca, who's a local guy in Blackpool. So he sort of, as soon as we went into lockdown, I was there with him, and I've done a couple of pre-seasons with him. So he's 40 odd years of age, unbelievable shape. He does the runs way as well, so it helped. You know what I mean? And he looked after me, and it was great for me. And when you've got somebody there that could keep you going and encourage you, it was great. So he was brilliant for me, and hopefully, we get the rewards for the next 9 games and score a few goals and get a couple of wins.
Class, man. I see you saw your first game yesterday, Chelsea, yeah?
Yeah, we played a closed door game at Chelsea training ground, 45 minutes. We lost 1-0. The old water for me, I think. And so it was more of a fitness thing. But listen, when Chelsea have got the quality players, fortunate enough I played that level for 7-8 years and know what it was about. But when you go in there, you've always show, you show a little bit of respect, but you're there to do a job and to play well, and we done well enough. But I said to you before we come on, the biggest difference between even the League Two to League One to the Championship to the Premier League is the retaining the ball. If you keep getting the ball away, they make it hard for you, and you don't see it for a bit. So that's the big difference, and that's what the group of players that we've got, where I was brought in to try and help, is that if we keep turning it over too many times, it's a long afternoon. So if you've got players that are willing to keep it, it makes it easiest for you. So the levels you go up, the harder it is, and especially going into that Premier League.
Yeah. So many games have you got left, Charlie?
So we play 9. We play friendly on Sunday against Portsmouth, and then we'll play Stoke at home on the first game back. So it's a great game for me.
Yeah.
First game back against Stoke, and obviously they're behind us, I think 4 or 5 points. So it'll be a big game for them. It's a big game for us because we're 9 points off the playoffs. It's going to be a big ask.
9 points off now.
Yeah, we're only 9 points off the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big ask, but there's a lot of clubs in front of us. It's going to be tough. But let's say, even in the Premier League, I think if you see the next 9 games, there's going to be a lot of strange results. There's going to be a few different results that people think, and we're hoping that we're on the. If we can start well, because we've been training for 4 or 5 weeks now, and if we can start well, then you never know where it could take us.
And here, mentioning Stoke, it's like because when I think about you, I think Rangers, Liverpool, Blackpool, but the biggest part of your career's been at Stoke.
Well, I spent 7 years there. Yeah, I loved it. Great club. Listen, I had a sticky part at the start, which we could go into, but on the whole, I was gutted to leave. It was a great club, well looked after there, and good people there. So no, it was a great experience for me. People ask me what was the best club. I'm fortunate enough that every club I've been to, I've enjoyed. Do you know what I mean? I've never had. Listen, I've had certain periods being there that it's been difficult, but on the whole, I've enjoyed every club I've been at.
Well, okay then, mate. So let's take it right back to the start, because you're Fintry lad, Dundee boy.
Yeah.
A few Fintry boys are on already, mate.
Are they?
Mikey Malik's on.
Mikey Malik. He's a younger version of you.
Ginger pride, that's it.
Tell me about it. Nah, listen. There's one thing getting. When you're brought up where you are, it means a lot. And I was lucky that when I was growing up, there was a lot of good people around me in Fintry, and always looked out for me. So it was good that way. And let's say, talk about like Mikey and people like that. I know them for years and playing against them, just at the park and things like that. Great lads, and it's people you never forget, because you're always been around them. You know what I mean? So they're good people.
Yeah, you're still close with a lot of the guys up here, Charlie. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I still speak to a few lads from up there, and you're the ones up there. I would say one of my best mate is Muzzy, Gavin Murray. He's a Fintry lad as well. So he was one that I speak to quite a bit, and now and then they see lads on Instagram and they put a comment on things like that. So no, it's always good to keep in touch with people, because you never know that. It's always when I was younger, they were always around, and the people that. Even going along to the Puri and playing and things like that, they were great people to be people around. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So what was your journey like, Charlie? Going for the Sunday boys? Did you went to Celtic first? Yeah.
Well, the journey for me started at a really young age. I was playing, went for a trial one day at St Luke's Primary School for Lynn Craig. Done one session, and my dad said to me, "No, that's not for you." So I was like, okay. So we found the club in Dundee United Social Club with Tam Spacks, Martin Spacks, Ross Lunan, Stuart Lunan, people like that. They were all there, and
Ross
it was the best thing. No, Ross come later. So I started under nines with them. Under nines with them, and we progressed, and just had really good team. We had we had great players over the years. You know what I mean? And it was great. I loved it every Sunday. The thing about it was like, listen, my dad was a massive influence on my career, but when we used to go there, it was enjoyable as well. Listen, it was sometimes tough on a Sunday. You know, my old man shouting at the sideline like a lunatic, but no, I would never change it. It was, we used to go to play in tournaments at like Butlins and things like that, and things like that. It was brilliant. So they were always looked after us, and no, it was great for me to go and play with people like that. And then obviously when people like Ross and that signed, we started to get a good team together, and a few players that ended up senior. It was that was really good.
Yeah. What age did that team start to break up?
Around about, I think it was about 13, 14s. So yeah, it would have been, because I was there, because I've still got it now, this little 5-year trophy that we used to get. So I've still got that, and then I left after that. So that would be under 13s, 14s, yeah. And then I would listen at the holidays. I used to go and train at little clubs in England. I was trained at used to go Rangers, and school holidays a little bit then and now and then. And then hear about, I heard Cy Ferry talking about it the other week about, Sean Smith was one where, we used to go to Lockheed Park. He'd drive all the way from one side of the town to the other to pick me up. And he was brilliant. You just go up to Lockheed Park and we just do loads of little technical skills, passing, 1v1s, 2v2s. Fozzie and that were there. They were all bigger and stronger than us at the time. And, Fozzie was like a man at 10, wasn't he? So he would just, he used to just like, he used to bully us, like, as in like pushes off the bonnet, but it was brilliant. All the lads loved it.
Yeah.
And then,
you remember Fozzie's hairy legs, mate?
Oh, man, that was at 10.
I know.
But listen, Fozzie, what a player he was. You know what I mean? And people like Graham Fife, Cy played, Gardine, Wallace. There was loads of us, Aaron Conway, people like that.
From that little Sean Smith unit, all the Dundee guys, every player went on to her career, basically.
It was unbelievable. Like, you just go there. But I used to go to Aberdeen every Tuesday night, and I loved that as well, and that was good training. No, then I obviously went to sign. I signed 1 year at Celtic. Malky Thompson was my coach, who's now at Rangers, and I was there for a year, travelling there, and then got an opportunity to go do what did I do? Go to Rangers, and I went and tried, like, played games for Rangers, and I loved it. And it was just
what's when
I was at, just how they looked after you, like. Not like Celtic are a massive club, and it was everybody, like, it was nothing to do with Rangers Celtic. I was never brought up supporting Rangers Celtic. That was never the difference for me. I was support Dundee, so that's my team. That's I still support them now. I just felt at that time that Rangers, the players that they had, the training ground that they were trying to build at the time was when I was coming through. So it was when I used to go there. The academy guy was a guy called John Chalmers, who died not a long time ago now, but he was great. Whereas, like, what's like as a young lad, used to go through there, and the better players, used to look after us, used to give us extra boots and all that, and they were all sponsors from Nike at the time. Yeah. So we were getting Tiempo. We used to get Tiempos and all that, like, and the lads, like me, I was buzzing off it, and he really liked me, so I used to get like extra pairs and all that, and So it was great, and there was like so many people that, the scout, Murdy Stewart, who, I'm talking about people dying, but he passed away as well. So people like that who used to go out their way and take you to training. My granddad that used to, have to drive me, and I used to go through with Jamie Winters. So we used to go quite a bit together in that, and so his dad would have to drive us sometimes, and his granddad, and there was a lot of people that helped me get onto the road and the journey, because my mum and dad never drove. So there's a lot of people outside of my family that helped me get to the journey. Do you know what I mean? I appreciate what they've done for me, and it helped me. And if I never had that type of people, you just never know what could have happened. So it was great for me. And but when I realised I was going to sign for the S form and going to sign from 14s up to the 16s. You know, then that's when I had to make the big commitment. So I was at school Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, I think it was. Or it was Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Anyway, it was 3 days a week training. So I used to go to school, I'd run home, catch the bus, get the bus from 32 Terminus into the town, on the train, I think it was about 4:10 train to Glasgow. Then I'd get the train to Queen Street, and I'd have to get the tube from Queen Street to Ibrox Stadium, then go out, get in there, go and train, and then this was if I couldn't get a lift. So then I would get there, train on the AstroTurf across the road, and I'd finish training like 10 minutes before everybody else. And then the goalie coach would take me from the stadium back into the train station. I'd get on the train, and my old man would be waiting at the train station because I'd always fall asleep. So he was waiting for me. I had to text him, say, listen, I'm on carriage B or something like that. He'd wait for carriage B, and the amount of times he had to knock on the window or come on the train and get me off because I'd fell asleep. So then we'd have to get a bus then back up the road, back into Fintry, and I was in bed for like midnight. And I was doing that 3 days a week. It's 14, 15 on my own. And it was great. I loved it. Do you know what I mean? And it was just a norm for me.
Yeah. Mate, here, but massive commitment at such a young age. Nowadays, it's totally different. And they're sending people through from Glasgow to Dundee to pick you up and bring you through.
I see these young kids nowadays. They don't realise how good it is. Do you know what I mean? They're spoon-fed. And but that's how you've got to do it. If you want to look after the best players, you know, if you don't do it, somebody else will, and that's how it's working now. Do you know what I mean? So listen, I would never have changed it. Listen, obviously, I'd like to be looked after the way I'm getting looked after now, but yeah. I think what I had to do as a youngster made me the character I am today. Do you know what I mean? And I did enjoy it, and you know, it was great period.
It helps mould you, mate, doesn't it? It helps mould you.
Mentally, yeah, because listen, Glasgow's a big city, and you know, when you're there at, you know, say 9:30 at night in a train station on your own at 14, 15, and there's people around, you've got to look after yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Fortunate for me, and that I never ever had any problems, but you just never know who you could have bumped into, and I just don't think the characters are made like that nowadays. So. Yeah. 14 to 16, I was playing there and loved it. And then it was nearly, I got told that they weren't going to offer me a contract, which was, you know, was strange. Well, no, sorry, for about a year and a half. Then it was a bit iffy that I wasn't going to get a contract.
Right.
And then I was going in. Obviously, I was going in at school holidays, and then at one time I went in, trained for a week. With under 18s, and John Brown was manager at the time, gone in ground staff at Ibrox. So at that time, the ground staff would have been, I don't know if you remember, people like obviously Peter McDonald, McGregor, who else was there? Stephen Hughes, Bob Malcolm. They were all, you know. So I trained at with the under 18s. As a get like for the week, as like a work experience thing, and after that week, by the Friday, I was on the bench for the under 18s. So I'd obviously done well that week. Do you know what I mean? And about 2 weeks later, they said, "No, we want to sign you," and then they offered me a contract. So it was I had the decision to make what I wanted to do, and I was just lucky that I chose the right one, and Rangers was perfect for me. You know,
class, mate. Charlie, you've mentioned your old man a couple of times already and how much of an impact he had on your life. I mean, I knew him from when I was a kid. He was a big scary guy to me. But tell us a wee bit about
him. Gentle giant, really. That's how I explain him, right? People, you know, you say big scary guy, but he had a heart that, you know, people didn't realise he's such an emotional person. And you know, just must have been a tough time in his life that he felt that what happened was right. And but I just, you know, I was lucky that I had somebody like that on me. It was just on me constant every day. You know, how I dressed, how I looked, you know, appearance, going to school, like, you know, clean your shoes, clean your boots. Oh, just so many moments that it was just I just loved it, and it was listen. It was tough at times. It was tough as a kid. You know, I can remember at times he'd shout and scream on the side of the pitch, and the lads, you know, would be looking, you know, opposition lads, and be like, how is, you know what I mean? And word would get back like, how could they accept that? But that was the respect I had for him as a parent. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, listen.
He was a fantastic player himself. And do you think he knew that he wanted more for you than what he did in the game?
Yeah, because he never achieved what he should have, because he talent wise and technical ability, you know, he was brilliant, but he enjoyed the other side of it. He loved, you know, going to training, and then he'd go to the pub with his mates after the that's how he'd tell me. Jim McLean would be phoning the pub and saying, listen, you're in the pub again, and he'd be like, how's he finding this out? He just had people watching him all the time because he knew he had a talent, but you only last so long at that. Listen, he had a good career at lower levels and Arbroath and local clubs, you know, people like that. But I think he just felt that he never wanted me to make the same mistakes that he did, and you know, I hope that I never done that. And it was great. It was tough upbringing, not just for me, but for my mum and my other brothers and sisters, because you know, when he was hard on me, he was hard, and it was, you know, it was tough. But listen, I'm sat here and I'm, you know, nearly 500 games in, and I wouldn't have changed it for the world.
Class, mate. I love it. So tell us a wee bit about Rangers then, mate.
Wow. Rangers was, at that time, I just felt it was the right club. I just got treated right. They looked after me, you know, just what I wanted to do. Just felt that I had the right opportunity, and I was just so dedicated, and I just wanted to be the best player I can be, and Rangers was that. You know, there was a few ups and downs, and you know, there was people ahead of me, and the mental side for me was really strong, and I always believed that I was better than what they had there, and I could see players that they were getting pushed before you. And yeah. I was thinking, what's going on here? Like it was hard, and I just kept playing my own game. And listen, when you're young, and I used to try and play too many long passes. I'd probably still do now, but that was the strength that I had in my game. But I played too many passes, and they were on me a lot, and that was it was difficult. But you'd see lads going up and train with the first team at 17, 16, 17. I was thinking, well, why am I not doing that? Yeah. So I was just lucky at the right time. Just got an opportunity at the right time, and it was when I was there was some great players ahead of me. You know, Barry Ferguson. Trying to think who was in the first team when I first joined. You know, there was a lot of players. Mateta come in, people like that. So it was always going to be difficult. But one thing
you got played wide.
I played a lot wide when I got into the first team, but you know, when you're young and you were thinking, right, how am I not getting an opportunity to play in the first team? I'll go. I remember going into a European game. I played in an under-18 game, and after the game, the academy, Jan Dirk said to me, first team, you got to go and get your passport. First team want you for a European game. And I was like, wow, so excited. Like, and Alex McLeish took me, and it was just brilliant. Went to Russia, went to Moscow, and it was just a great experience. So it was tough, and I just used that determination that the big thing for when the first team players were playing, I used to try and go and watch them train every day. Do you know what I mean? After I'd finished training, I'd go back, try and go into the gym. But at Murray Park, or the Hummel Centre now is, in the gym, you can look at the window onto the first team pitch. So whenever I had an opportunity to try and be around the first team, I was there because I wanted to learn. Do you know what I mean? See what they were doing.
What were you looking for? You're looking for players in your position, how they were passing.
Just the things that they like. Ferguson, he's always wanting to receive the ball, how he would receive it off a defender, or you know, first thing he was thinking, looking forward. Ronald de Boer, trying to get in between the lines. You know, Arteta he was unbelievable. And then the fitness side of it, like Fernando Rickson, you know, it was just everything. These top midfielders that are in the first team level, I was thinking, right, how do I get into the first team? What was going on? And it sort of backfired a little bit on me, because the lads and the coaches would always say to me, well, why are you always around the first team? Get back down to the academy and that.
Yeah.
So even like when I if I played on a Friday and they were playing United or playing Dundee up on a Saturday, they'd always say to kit man Jimmy Bell, I'll see you at the game tomorrow. I'm coming to help with the boots and be in the dressing room and all that. I just love being around the first team, just trying to learn and take things. And even the first team lads were like, what are you doing in here? Like, you shouldn't be in here, blah, blah. And I was, listen, young lad, and you just take it on the chin a little bit.
I'll be sitting here next to you soon. In your head, you're saying, I'll be sitting here next to you soon.
That's it. And I was just using it as a learning curve, thinking, right, how do I learn from these guys? What's getting them to playing every week and blah, blah. So that's how I used it. But now I say to our young lads, like, don't be afraid to come over and watch first team training. Come and speak to the first team lads. And I think that's the problem. There's a big divide from youth level and first team. There should be, us first team players, or senior ones, should be helping the younger kids. So if that's coming standing on the side, or listen, I don't think they should be in the dressing room, when other first team players are talking. But when the lads are you should come over and watch when you finish watching training how players are, working on the receiving a pass or passing the ball, or how the senior players train. Well, the good senior players you should be able to learn from, and that's what I say to our young kids now. Come and watch. Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. And if anybody says anything, just say, listen, I want to learn. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. So that's how I used it. And it was a great experience for me. And it was a great club. Still, a great club to start off for.
Was there anybody there who sort of took you under their wing, or you were able to go?
Well, I was lucky because Mo was there at the time, Maurice Ross.
Oh, I know. So
Mo would sort of look after me and would help, because I was a local lad, and he was good like that. He was ever needed anything, he was always there. But I was lucky where when I went into Diggs with Davy Moyes, West Ham manager, his mum and dad. So that was my Diggs lady and man. So when I went in there, all Davy's got hundreds of years of experience of coaching and scouting and all that. So they were brilliant for me, looked after me. The son now is still my agent for 15, 16 years. Do you know what I mean? So he still looks after me now. Right. So it was great. It was great for me. So like I say, he used to come and drive, pick me up to training, pick me up, take me home, because I wasn't driving at the time, living just literally around the corner from a training ground, and it was brilliant. So no, that was really good. But the coaches were great as well. I always remember one thing John Brown said. John Brown was quite hard on me, and he used to say, the day I stop shouting at you is the day you need to worry. And that's always stuck in my mind. Do you know what I mean? And he was great for me. It was really hard on me. John McGregor. I had good coaches at the time. It was a brilliant experience.
So see, when you're hitting 17, 18, 19, and you're maybe not just quite getting that chance, because that's ultimately when most players will fall out of the game. Was there ever any doubt, Charlie, or were you did you worry, or did you think, is this going to happen for me?
I never had any doubt, and I still have that mentality now that, the big thing for me was no playing. When you think that you're ready, you're not ready. Do you know what I mean? As a young kid, you're not ready. You always think you're good, you should be in there quicker than what you are. And when I got told I was going on loan to Ross County, I thought, Ross County, I says, I found it tough. No disrespect to Ross County. It was just the fact that I was in that bubble of being a Rangers player.
Yeah.
And I thought, do you know what? Where am I going? When I got up there, I thought, I'm moving away from Glasgow, because that's all I knew. Dundee or Glasgow, that's all I knew. And when I went up there, I loved it. There was great people up there. McCunney was up there, Jim Laughlin, Tony Bullock. So Alex Smith and Jimmy Bone were manager and assistant manager. So when I went up there, it was brilliant. The best thing I'd done. But I used it as when I got up there, I used it, and I always say to young kids now, when I went up there, I used it to say, right, this is an opportunity to play in a first team level where lads, winning every week means something, because if they get a win bonus, it might pay the car or pay the mortgage. There was a lot more pressure, and I used it. Do you know what? listen, I had the tag, listen, he's coming from Rangers, young kid. And I thought, do you know what? I need to go there and show them why I'm at Rangers. No, go up there because, it's a jolly up and find it tough and, it's going to be easy. It was hard. It was tough coming into that environment. But the senior players, like you say, the good senior players make it easy for you. And they did. And so when I went up there, I was end up living with McCunny. So do you know what it was like? It was mental. It was mental. It was brilliant. We had a great time. Young lads, we'd have a good time, but it was a great experience for me. And I'm just gutted that I never played there long enough because I got injured. I got osteoarthritis pubis on the bone for a young, you get as a young kid, and I got that. So I ended up going back to Rangers early, and then I started just back playing in the 21s and the reserves and things like that. And then I got an opportunity. I think at the end of that season, I got an opportunity to play. Or did I make my debut that season? I might have made my debut that season against Livingston.
Did McLeish give you your debut?
McLeish gave me a debue for Rangers and Scotland.
Oh, didn't you?
So I made my debut, I think, at Livingston for Ronald de Boer come off, and I come on. And then I started at Dunfermline, last day of the season. It was the hottest day in the world, and we won. And all I can remember was we get an appearance money, we got a win bonus. Like, it was just the best summer ever. Do you know what I mean? It was it was amazing. I think Alex McLeish might have got the sack because he and Durant took the team.
Right.
And it was brilliant. So then I obviously had a good summer, and I went back pre-season, and wasn't anywhere near it again. And then I went to St Mirren on loan, and was the like I say, used the experience of going to Ross County. Went with Andy Millen and Gus McPherson to St Mirren, and then my whole career changed from that. That year experience just changed my whole football career, because I went there, I'd done well, scored a few goals, we got promoted, we won a cup, and then obviously Paul Le Guen come in the following summer
for Rangers.
So then it changed for me at Rangers.
See, when you went to Ross County, when you went to likes of St Mirren, were you over the mindset were you bad? Obviously, there are decent clubs in their own right, but being at Rangers and then going there, were you thinking, I'm going to do what I've got a day to go out here, because this is where I didn't want to play?
Exactly, and that's the mentality I have. That if I had to take that step back, but I had to make sure that I had the right attitude, the discipline, and the will to learn, to take the 2 steps forward, to then go back to Rangers a better player. I'd done that. The both loan spell, obviously the Ross County one ended early, but the St Mirren one, I definitely done that. And the manager, Gus and Andy, they were unbelievable with me. They were on me, like, they were tough on me, but they knew I had the quality, probably a little bit more quality what they had. So I was probably the one that they knew that would probably open the door, and that little bit different from what they had, and it was it was brilliant. And when you're successful, let's say winning the cup and getting promoted to from the Championship to the Premier League was massive. And
your confidence must have been buzzing at that time as well, mate.
What's that?
Your confidence must have been buzzing as well.
Oh, there was no. The environment of under-18s football and the 20s playing the reserves was great and that, but when you were, like I said, talking about winning on a Saturday, and it doesn't come down to all about money, but getting a win bonus and being successful, being at the top of the league and that, you're on cloud nine. What I mean? You've got a little bit about you, a swagger and a confidence, and it was brilliant. And we used to be able to go and enjoy it after a game, and because a couple of young lads as well, and it was brilliant. So great experience. And definitely something that I always say to younger players: when you get an opportunity to go on loan, make sure you go there and you're the best player in that club.
Yeah, I say the same, mate. You're on about the Swindon team that eventually got promoted. It was like the bus journey is back, after you'd won were a lot better. You know what
Oh,
I mean?
Dana, honestly, maybe not at St Mirren, but when we get on to Blackpool, that was different. It was just, but every club that I've done well at, the culture has been like, no culture, but it's been a good banter. The lads are good, you know. There's, you know, everybody's laughing and joking, you know, and things like that. And at times when I've done it, and they clubs, I've been successful, you know. So definitely think it's all about characters. If you get the right characters in your team and in your squad, you know, you're halfway there.
Aye. So I know, like Barry Ferguson, you know, I didn't mean only went and played for Blackburn, but he went down and played for Blackburn. But how good was he?
Yeah. Fergie was probably never hit the potential he should have. Listen, he had a great career.
Yeah,
the injury at I think the injury at Blackburn killed, like, was horrific. Obviously, you know, broken kneecap and things like that. But could he probably have went and played for one of the big ones? Yeah, he could have. But obviously, injuries played his part, and never had his ankle wasn't great either when he was at Rangers as well. So, nah, definitely he's probably someone that never probably played to the level that he could have. But as a player, he was different class, and he was one that, and he was always on me as well, like hard on me, like, no, as if. And listen, it was it was tough, you know. At time, I phoned my old man once and said, "Listen, he's on me, like, you know." And you know what my old man was like. He was like, "All right, okay, do you want me to come and sort it out?" And I was like, "No, you're all right," like panicking and that.
Yeah.
But he was just his, like you say, the standard, like, you know, his standard was like what Stevie was like when as a player, like, you know, the standard was so high that you had to set the bar, and if you weren't at that level, you know, he wasn't waiting on you. He was gone, and that was what he was. He just wanted to win, you know, and that's in his mentality. He's that's how he was. But what a player he was. He was a great player, and just going back, probably never hit the heights that he should have.
See, with players like Ferguson and obviously Gerrard as well, when they are being hard on you, do you think it is because they can that you can do better?
Absolutely, yeah. And I try to be like that with the younger kids now, that the ones that you think have got a chance, you know, you kind of let them away with it. You got to say, you know, you got to be hard on them, even if they're 17, 18. There's a way to talk to them and pull them to the side and that. But you know, when you're playing a man's environment, when you got to win, you know, it's, you know, listen, it's 3 points at the end of the day. You can't just go and you're 17, 18 and think you can get away with it, or 18, 19, sorry, I can meg somebody in the middle of the pitch and all that. No chance. You know, it's our livelihoods are on the line. Do you know what I mean? You know, you have 3 points here. You're not playing with your mates at under 18 level or playing the reserves where there's nobody watching you. You know, you're playing in front of 15,000 or 50,000. You got to be like a first team player. So that's the mindset you got to try and get into these younger players nowadays.
100%. So, mate, Blackpool, 500 grand transfer. You went on loan first, though, didn't you?
I went on loan for 6 months, just because I wasn't playing at Rangers again, and went there. I can remember the day, can still remember it now. Stood, called my mum and dad, saying to them, "Listen, they want me to go on loan to Blackpool. I'm not sure about it." I was crying my eyes out. I was absolutely gutted. This was the only loan I was gutted. Like, I thought, this is my Rangers career is over.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, like, you know, is it time to move on? And it was tough to take. You know what I mean? So then I went on loan there 6 months. Went down there. The best thing I ever done. It was brilliant. I got it. So when I went on loan was Tony Parks.
Right.
So I signed on loan there for Tony Parks, and then full time was Ian Holloway. So Tony Parks signed me on the loan. 6 months I went there. First game, red card, off. 3-game ban. First game, stamped on one of the old players, Richie Wellens. So I was the fans took to me straight away after that, and then I started to play well, and scored a few goals. Then because we were struggling at the time near the bottom of the league, we stayed up. So then I went back to Rangers, went pre-season with Rangers, and then they said to me, "Listen, you can go, £500,000. You can go if you want to go." And I just signed I had just signed a 5-year contract, and I was thinking, okay, so now you can go with permanent. It's £500,000, and I wanted to go back to Blackpool if it was possible, but I knew at the time Blackpool, they had no money. The chairman at the time wasn't spending any money. Carol Oyston.
Yeah.
There was one or two clubs wanted me to go there. Norwich, Preston wanted me, but they could only pay 400 grand for me. And we got a cut. So Ollie was on the phone to me pre-season saying, "I need you to come. What I seen you do on loan was brilliant. How I want to play is just, I need somebody like you how to pass it, and you'll be able to be a main man in the team. If you come to me, I'll get you to the Premier League. Your talent should be in the Premier League." And I was thinking, who's this guy? It was just, but he just filled me with confidence. Just made me feel like the main man, and that was just brilliant. Because when you were at Rangers, you weren't the main man. You were just you were a player there in the first team and round it. And so when he was talking to me, he was like, "No, you're going to be the main man," and things like that. And I was like, "I'll have a bit of this." So I said to him, "Listen, they ain't gonna be able to pay the money." So I got a call one day and just said, "Listen." At the time, they were owned. Valeri Belicom was a Latvian owner who put the money up. He went, "Right, I'll pay the £500,000, no problem." So all of a sudden, I had a decision to make. Do I leave Rangers? And then, because I never thought they would, so I was thinking I might just stay at Rangers and get a few games and things like that.
Did you take a pay cut?
Yeah, it was minimal. It was similar contracts. The money was no much difference. You know what I mean? But it was just, let's say, it was a bit an opportunity to go and play first team football again, regular. Talking about taking that step back, leaving Rangers. Always when I was in the first team in that, and obviously David Murray was the owner at the time. I told a lot of people this. The whole thing about David Murray was he used to always come in and say, "When you leave Rangers, the only place you're going is downwards. You ain't coming back. There's no bigger club than Rangers." And that's just the mentality they have there. Listen, Rangers are a big club and worldwide, and support is amazing.
Yeah.
But I always stuck in my mind, and I was thinking, do you know what? I might have to take a step back in my career to then go 2 steps forward. And so gone to Blackpool, signed the contract, washing my own kit. So I was sat in a hotel room 3 months. So the coach used to, I wasn't driving at the time. So the assistant manager I was living in the Hilton Hotel, the front of Blackpool Prom, and he used to pick me up every day. So this is what Blackpool was like. So he'd pick me up. I'd have my training kit, wear the training kit in. We'd go to the stadium to pick the balls and bibs markers up. Yeah. And then we'd drive to the training ground because it wasn't safe. Like people were breaking in, stealing things and all that. So we'd never ever had. So we had to wash our own kit. It was just brilliant. So when I gone there was people like Craney was there, Stephen Craney was there, obviously Scottish lad.
Yep.
And no, the lads were brilliant. And since day one I went there, they were brilliant. We had a great team spirit, and we had 2 or 3.
When you first went there, mate, weren't they? Or was
What's
it
that?
They were struggling? Was it when you were on loan or just
on loan? We struggled. We were struggling. So I went on loan there, and we struggled. We stayed up with a few games to go, and obviously then I signed full time. So then I knew that obviously we were in the Championship. We'd signed a few decent players. Me, DJ Campbell. I'm trying to think who else come in. But it was like a lot of the squad was similar, but he added 1 or 2 better players, and the quality come up. And I remember we went to QPR on the first day, and we drew. So I'll tell you a story. We went pre-season to Devon, was an absolute shambolic. So we were driving on the bus. The story of that whole season was incredible. It will never happen again. So we'd gone pre-season to Devon. Was split up in 3 different hotels. the players and the staff. So we're all living in 3 different hotels pre-season. We all had to meet at one hotel to get like strappings and all every day for the hingy. We'd have dinner. The food was terrible. It was like living on a caravan site, like for free for 10 days. We were playing training on it, like public parks, dogs running everywhere, scooping the old poo down the side of the pitch before we started training. And at that time, we never had enough players. We had about 17, 18 players at the time. And this, so the manager and the staff used to go to a pub, like at night, and have a few pints and, just to relax. And the lads would be playing darts and whatever in the hotels and then what they're doing and things like that. And all of a sudden, we were training. One day, this lad turns up with a bag with his kit and boots. And the lads are looking like, who's this guy? So he come over, introduced him. He says, so we spoke to the guy and said, by the way, I said, how's the manager's been coming to the pub and that. I said, I've been working behind the bar and I told him that that I actually, like, I'm a good player and I've been thinking. He said, why don't you come down for a trial and we'll have a look at you? So this geezer, a bartender's come down, started training with us now. He was hopeless. And the gaffer was like, after one session, see you later. So it was just shambolic. And so the games were terrible. We played like a mini tournament against Accrington and all that. And, it was mental. So we got back up the road, typical Blackpool. We got back up the road, started training pre-season. I had no players start the season. And about a week before, we started signing 2 or 3 players. Went to QPR first day of the season. We drew. I think we drew the first 4 games in the Championship. And the lads were thinking, this is not going to be great. But the gaffer was just adamant, listen, no matter what, we want to play it for the back, get the ball out for one side, play a long diagonal on the opposite side, squeeze the game. He was just saying, if the ball's coming down the left-hand side, the right winger stay high up on the pitch, just play cat and mouse with him. You don't need to come back and defend. We were so gung-ho, open. First 4 games, I think we drew, and then we started to get a few wins together. And you know what? We started to play some good stuff. We were, in that season, Newcastle were in the league. We beat them. We beat them at home. They battered us, I think, 4-0 at their place. West Brom were in the league. They too got promoted. So there was some good clubs in there, Cardiff, people like that. So it was a good season, and we just, as the season progressed, and talk about team spirit, we used to just like, because when we first come, the lads, we'd say we were at Cardiff, we'd played the game, we'd drive back on the bus. The lads would go straight out after the game, off the bus, straight out. We had a few beers, the lads. This was going on for the majority of the season and all that. So it was a good group, 10, 12 lads. You go every Saturday, not every Saturday, but like, once or twice a month, we'd always be straight off the bus after the games, out. It was a good group of lads, and we enjoyed it together. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's what got us. Also we had some half decent players as well, but the spirit was brilliant, and he enjoyed it, Ollie, as well.
Yeah. He's so watchable, isn't he, Ollie? He's so watchable. You listen to him all day. He's got that sort of infectious way about him, man.
So many things happened, like after about 2 or 3 games, we turned up at the training ground. So we managed to start up at training again 9:30, start training at 11. So at the time, we never knew, but then he come out one day and told us that his kids were deaf. And so obviously affected them really badly, because the kids were down south because of the schools and all that, and him and his missus were living up north. There was no schools up north for them to come up and live to look after them, for what special schools they had to go to, sign language and things like that. So they were down south, and he found it hard, and he was an emotional guy. We come in one day, and he just went on a rampage, like just talk about his life and what it means to his kids and how his kids are down south. And this started at like say 10 o'clock. Come 12:30, we were still sat there talking about everything, like what had happened in the news, what would happen about players at other clubs, thinking who they think they are and all that. And he just ranted on for 2.5 hours, and the lads were like, "Wow, this is mental." And the lads were like, "Can we go out?" So our lads used to go out and just like So at the time, Cranes was like, he was a fitness freak. So we just all used to go out and do our own runs on our own and just tick over and all that. And no, it was a bit Sunday League-ish, but it worked for us as a club. Group of players that accepted it, understood it, and it worked, and it was brilliant. But so many stories for him. He was relentless, but brilliant for me.
Yeah, I mean, like Blackpool getting to the Premiership, mate. Like, Leicester won it, all right, but Blackpool to actually even get there is like.
Yeah, because we were favourites to get relegated that season. The budget was probably about, I don't know, £3 million maximum, which was nothing in the Championship, you know. And it was just mental. We you know, I just think that I remember the day that he made me captain. It was just that was it. I just felt that then once I was made captain, I felt that I had a responsibility to then, you know, everybody was looking at me. I felt like when I got made captain after a couple of games, I felt right. I need to show people. I need to drag this team to another level. I need to be the best player. I can't just sit in a comfort zone and enjoy myself, think it's all right. I felt that I had to take that team to another level if I could. Listen, I had good players around me to help me, but my ability and what I could do with the ball was important for that team, and I felt right, that was it, and it gave me a responsibility, and I think I thrived on it, and I loved it, and it was the pressure that I enjoyed, and had been the captain, so it was amazing. It was great times.
Mate, for an outsider looking in that running in that season, kind of what, 10 years ago now.
10 years ago, about a month ago, yeah.
10 years ago now, but I still remember there was a big spotlight on you, mate, Ken. It really was. But
no, it was.
I want to go, sorry.
Oh, and you go.
I was just going to say, like, when you end up in the playoff final and you were 1-0 down, when you're 1-0 down, you're standing over the ball, 90,000 people, mate. What's actually going through your mind? What?
Well, the thing for us, there was a build-up, obviously, to the playoff final where we'd won 10 out of 12 games. We drew one, lost one. And come February, March, right? This was because, like, I talk about the lads hadn't done, no earned a lot in their career. We were on £5 million to get promoted as a shared bonus pot. So at that time, the lads were thinking, they played a lot of games. Lads were getting like 400 grand. And then obviously tax on top, blah, blah. So it was like life-changing. So come February, March, we were in and around it a little bit. We had a few points and we had a chance. So after every game we won, the lads were like, lads were buying Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bentleys, just like, you know, laughing and joking. And that was just like getting us through the games and all that. And the big thing about Ollie was he just knew right what to do. For instance, on a Friday before one, like, I think we played Nottingham Forest on the Saturday at their place. We won 1-0, I scored. On the Friday, we got into the training ground and he went, lads, no training today. And lads were like, Gaffer, we want to train, have a little five-a-side in that. He went, no, we're going to the calf. Wow. So we used to go to the calf on a Friday sometimes, no train, go. So the workmen and that are in there having the sausage, egg and bacon and that. And he's like, right, lads, full English fry up, bacon, sausage, everything. So the lads were like tucking in. Do you know what I mean? Just straight on it. So then it was just, then we'd go. So we'd always have to go to the stadium to get the bus. We'd get on the bus, and then halfway down, or like on the bus and that, for some of the games, there'd be like Mackies and all that. Because the food was so bad at the training ground, the lads wouldn't eat it now. So we'd take our own food for the Friday night going. So instead of like sandwiches or soup, there was like Mackies on the bus and pizzas and all that on a Friday, the day before a game. But it was just ridiculous. But we got away with it. And then, like you say, going back to the playoff final was just, wow, it was incredible. So the day before the playoff final, we were training at Watford. And Peter Whittingham, God rest his soul, passed away recently. What a player he was, done brilliant job, championship. We were worried about him because he'd scored like 25 goals that season. It was between me and him for the top goal scorer. So he scored 25. I ended up scoring 19. So he won it. But he scored a lot of free kicks that season. So we were worried about set plays. And manager was saying, like, we need to make sure we don't give away silly free kicks around the box and everything like that. And I said, okay, blah, blah. So day before the game, we set up shape and all that. And so we did for and against. So obviously he named his team. He kept the same team for the last 10 games or something like that because we'd done so well. So in this time, we had the free kick, identical position up. The train at Watford was set up, goalies in goal, exact same position at distance out at Wembley. And I said to the manager before I this, I said, listen, lads, we don't need to worry about Peter Whittingham. The big man's here. I'll stick us in you don't need to worry about the Mora. The big man's here, and the big man produces on the big stages. Laughing and joking. So I've hit this free kick right in the stanchion, right? I've not said anything to the lads. I just walked straight off on the bus with my boots on. Just walked straight on the bus, and I've got on the bus, and all the lads have like got on the bus, clapping their hands like I've gone, wow, what happened? I went, it's just what the big man does, isn't it? And then obviously going into the game and things like that. So what I try and do in a game before a game. So this is what as a before a game. I try to visualize things that I think are going to happen in the game. So what if this happens in the game? How am I going to pass it, or to try and find the space? I do a lot of visualization night before a game and things like that. Do you know what I mean? It's just something I've always done, and the amount of times it works, or you see a pass that comes on and things like that. So it's probably a little bit weird, but I just feel comfortable doing it. And
you got to see it before it becomes reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then obviously I've got that free kick, and Cranes has come up to me, Stephen Crane. He said, "Listen, are you going to let me hit it?" I said, "No chance. You've got no chance." He said, "Let me hit this." He went, "All right, okay then." So he walks away for it, and obviously David Marshall in goal, Scottish goalie, I've been in the national team and blah blah. And I've just hit it perfect. Top, like, just flush, top corner. And then just the whole place erupted. And it was just like this. That was 1-1. And it was just probably what a feeling it was. And my mum and dad, family were in the stand. My missus and that were in the stand. It was amazing. Do you know what I mean?
And then obviously, going on to win 3-2.
Yeah. So then going on, obviously, the lads. Then they scored again 2-1, and then I think Fletch scored, and then Brett scored to make it 3-2. So we've gone in.
Sorry,
into the dressing room.
Let me ask you again. What was it? Was Varney, yeah?
No, Brett Ormrod and Gary Taylor Fletcher scored the other goal for us.
Yeah. What was the two white guys though? Varney and.
No, in the Premier League, Varney was in the Premier League. In the Championship, DJ played up the front, Fletch played on the right, and Brett Ormrod played on the left. So that was the team in the Championship, and so it was like same. The team was quite similar for a lot of the games. Never changed much. Me, Keith, and David Vaughan in midfield. So we had good combinations and good understanding of the game. So, like I say, going into half time, lads were jumping around, buzzing, thinking we've won, like we're getting promoted, talking about the £5 million again. So the manager's at his roasting hot day. Manager's having the cameras down, saying, "Listen, lads, we're always going to score goals. It's not over yet." And the lads are laughing and looking at each other, how excited and that, just buzzing off it. And then second half was no, we probably should have scored. They had a couple of chances. We had probably 3 or 4 chances to kill the game. And then all I remember was just when the final whistle went, lying on the ground, and Rob Edwards coming on top of me and saying, like, talk about that £5 million again. Like, it was just brilliant experience, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And for a club like Blackpool, mate, like what was it, about 200 million back then? How much was it
to get in the Premier League? 90 million.
90 million back then,
90, yeah. So now, look at it now, it's probably double that. So in fact, like from 10 years ago, like how much it's changed and what it means to a lot of clubs. You know what I mean? So obviously we got the 90 million and that, and the lads obviously got looked after, double salaries and going to the Premier League.
Yep.
So all I remember was, you know, on the pitch and trying to look for them, you know, family and everything like that. Couldn't see them, and then I obviously seeing my dad and my mum and missus were in the crowd, and you know, kids and that was brilliant. But walking up the stairs and lifting the trophy was surreal. You know what I mean? It was just that was the moment we knew it was happening. And we got back in the dressing room, a few beers, just sat there drained. Probably that was the quietest time that we'd had in the last 12 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were just so emotionally drained and just sat there enjoying a beer, talking about it, realizing what was actually going to happen. And you know, it was brilliant. And then we went back to a hotel, and I ended up in bed midnight because I was so tired. I was drained, and it was just the emotion. And just never enjoyed it. It's probably how I should have. A few of the lads did. But the thing, but that's the thing is, the lads enjoyed it more getting to the final. Like, you know, when we beat Nottingham Forest, we got a bus back to the casino in Blackpool. The lads end up 5-6 o'clock in the morning just there, you know, enjoying it more. I know a couple of lads ended up like they done like celebrating getting to the playoff final. So they enjoyed it more getting to the playoff final, but it was just the whole emotion and that. And then the next day we got the bus back to Blackpool, and then it was like 250,000 people on the prom, roasting hot day. It was that was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, even though you went on to play for Liverpool, Charlie, is that the highlight of your career?
Playing for Liverpool?
No. I'm saying that day winning that with Blackpool, was that the highlight of your career?
Yeah, because, you know, going back to Blackpool should never be in the Premier League. We're not saying it shouldn't be. Listen, we were, you know, one of the small clubs in the league, and we got promoted. It was phenomenal. On a personal level, that was, you know, it was an amazing day. But you know, you take away playing for Liverpool for no, there was no chance. Liverpool, Rangers, it was two great clubs.
Yeah. So stepping up into the Premier League, mate, then the cameras are on you full time. What was it like? What was the experience like being in the limelight?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was, you know, remember because we was, you know, first game we played Wigan away, 1-4-0, going back, celebrating like we're top of the league at 5 o'clock. You know, it was just brilliant. We won 1-4-0. Next week we got battered 6-0 at Arsenal. So it was a reality check for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it was just great, and I'm lucky that when I first went into the Premier League like that, I used to collect mementos, so collected a lot of shirts and things like that. So it was good mementos to have and things like that. So no, it was a great experience with the Premier League. When we first went in, it was just brilliant. We enjoyed the journey, and you know, we should have stayed up. The points that we got, you know, we had 25 points before Christmas, and you know, we only got like, I think we got 12 or 13 points after Christmas, which was crazy. But you know, if we had got that now, we would have stayed up, and that was a huge blow when we got relegated.
Biggest lessons for you through that season?
Naivety from the players and the manager, and you know, trying to keep playing the same way we did in the Championship. You know, at times where we're still playing it for the back and risking it against the top teams. You know what I mean? Even your Chelsea and Arsenal, we were trying to play it for the back instead of maybe sometimes just turning them and putting them under pressure and making them work hard. Listen, we beat Liverpool twice. We were 2-0 up against Man United at home. We were 2-0 up against Blackburn away. 2-0 up at Bolton. So if we'd won one of them, we'd have stayed up. You know. So we put ourselves in great positions. We lost our goalie, Matt Jilks, which was a blow for us, and never recovered from that. And yeah, I was devastated when we got relegated from Blackpool. Even on the selfish side that I probably knew I was going to Liverpool, but the getting relegated for Blackpool, yeah, it hurt. You know, yeah. Not just for me personally, but also for the lads and the fans and the club. You know.
Uh-huh. Charlie, I mean, what was it? 6.5 million you went to Liverpool for?
I'm not sure what the figure was. It was talks of 9 million. I think it might have been about 9 million with add-ons and things like that. But it was
anyway. To be honest, it was a snip. To be honest,
thanks.
No, but like, thinking about it as a snip, because if Blackpool had stayed up, I mean, that number could have been triple easy.
Possibly, but I only had a year left. Obviously, I got relegated, so I'd only had a year in my contract. And when I got relegated, the good thing for me is when I got relegated, I obviously knew, the conversations we still kept in contact with Liverpool, and my agent was still talking to them to, they were still confident to take me there, and that was a big thing for me. But it was, when the January window came and we beat Liverpool, and obviously there was a lot of day in the last day of the window about trying to sign for them and things like that, and I never done the right thing. The last day of the window, I never trained. I went into the training ground, and lads, to be fair about the lads, they were all for me, like going to Liverpool. It was life changing for me. Do you know what I mean? And the lads knew that, and they were spot on. They're saying, "Lad, listen, you don't need, you need to try and force this move." And that's it. And I, about 5-10 minutes into the train, we were warming up, and I just walked off the pitch. I said, "I'm going to the chairman's office." I said to the manager, "I'm going to the chairman's office. I'm not coming back. I need this to happen." It's not the right thing to do, but it was life changing for me, and I always felt that if I'd done that, then it might have happened, but it never happened. Listen, I went there 11:20 in the morning, and I sat in my training room, my agent in the stadium, and I never left the stadium to about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, like trying to force it, say, "Listen, this is what's happening." And I see the both sides of the story for Blackpool. If they let me go, the so-called the best player, there's less chance of them staying up.
Yeah.
And if we stay up, they get another 90 million, and the money that Liverpool were going to play is not enough for to let me go. And looking back now, I understand that. So, it was tough, but everybody knew what had happened. And fortunate for me, the next game that I scored a goal, and I went a bit mental. And we got a great rapport with the fans, and it was great for me to score a goal, and hopefully that repaid them a little bit with after that, But it was a great journey, and just got to the end of the way it did.
Yeah, I mean, you must be a hero in Blackpool.
Yeah, listen,
fans,
people like me in that. It's good. I still live there now, so it is great. That's my home now. Listen, the class Dundee is, mum and dad, my mum and brothers and sisters still live in Dundee, but home for me, my kids, wife is Blackpool, and I love it there. It's been great for me, and hopefully that can continue.
Sound. So, going to Liverpool, what was it like, mate?
Well, obviously, when I first went there, obviously the medical and that was 4 hours. You got scanned, everything. The only thing I don't think I got scanned was my ears. It was just everything was scanned because they were paying a lot of money, and it was just it was madness. So I went there, went for the scan, and so it was late at night. So what happened was Blackpool and Liverpool had been humming and hawing all summer, and got to I think it was August or something. I signed, and I knew there was a date. So what happened was I knew that Damien Camoli, and who was director of football at the time, and the secretary were meeting Carol Oyster and Matt Williams, who were chairman and secretary at Blackpool. I knew they were meeting at Preston Marriott.
Yeah.
And Matt Williams phoned me, who I got on really well with, and he said to me, "Listen, it's do or die for this." And Carol Oyster said to me, "Listen, if they don't agree today, the deal's not going to happen." And I was like sat all day panicking because I sort of had the contract agreed with Liverpool what was going to happen. Do you know what I mean?
How much are you hearing on the other side, like from Liverpool, while this is happening?
Well, the thing, I never really my agent still had contact with Liverpool from January to the summer, just saying, "Listen, don't worry about it. We want him. He's going to be a big player, a big part of it for us, and we would love him to come here." And I had my heart set on it, But going back, like at that time, you know, obviously they were spending that money, and it was brilliant. So the day come, and I got a phone call late at night, and Matt Williams phoned me and said, "Listen, everything's agreed," and that was it. I was buzzing.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it. So at that, listen, I still wasn't. I wasn't. No, it was. Yeah, listen, it was changing my life. Do you know what I mean? I was changing my life financially, and as a footballer, I was going to, you know, one of the biggest clubs in the world, to play with some of the best players in the world, people that you're only going to come up against, you thought, or seen them on the telly. And then, so at that time, I still wasn't driving at that time. So I was like 26, I wasn't driving, and so I was at home, and then I got a call saying there's going to be a medical tomorrow. And then the medical was like 4 o'clock. So I had to be at Liverpool training ground, the academy, at 4 o'clock. So I wasn't driving. My missus was doing something else. I got a call. She was out. And I got a call saying, listen, the medical is now. Can you get over to Liverpool as soon as possible? I said, yeah. But how am I going to, like I was saying to myself, how am I going to get there? So I phoned my mate at the time, and I said, and what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm working. So he's a builder. I said, I need you to take me over to Liverpool. I've got a medical. Everything's agreed, blah, blah. He went, I've only got my white van, pal. I said, that's good enough for me. So I've had to jump in with a suit on and that, in the white van, drove to Liverpool Academy, got dropped off. Kenny sat in the car park to pick me up. So my mates dropped me off in his builder's van. Kenny's picked me up. I got in the car, speaking to Kenny, obviously went around the academy, went into Melwood. Then I went to the hospital, did a medical, and then obviously I said the medical was 4 hours, and it was a long time. And I got out the medical late, 11 o'clock at night, and then they said to me, "Oh, we need to speak to a surgeon." And I went, "Oh no, what's happened?" He said, "Oh, there's a little bit of," and I was thinking, this deal ain't happening here. And he said, "There's a small bit of like wear and tear in the cartilage in your knee and blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, no problem." Like because they knew that I'd played the amount of games I had the last 18 months, it wasn't an issue. They just wanted to flag it up, and just in case, say, in 3 months' time, it become an issue when I was at Liverpool, that they knew that they already knew about the problem. Do you know what I mean? So obviously that panic set in for me, and I was saying, this ain't happening, blah blah. But everything was good, everything agreed. Next day, went to the training ground, signed, and then I moved on. It was brilliant. So you know, it was about 4 or 5 that signed in the same week, really.
Who else signed? Was it Andy Carroll, Suarez?
No, Andy Carroll and Suarez signed on in the January.
January.
So yeah, so it was me, Henderson, Downing, the goalkeeper Donny signed, Sebastian Coates signed. So there was a few of us signed that week or in the coming days, and it was brilliant. You know what I mean, it was a dream, you know.
Had you ever met Kenny before?
Well, yeah, that was a funny story. I went to Kenny's house during the might have been the January window. Yeah, I think it was the January window. I went to Kenny's house. Obviously, not allowed to do that. But I went to Kenny's house and sat and spoke to him. Gone into his house. So obviously I was buzzing from my old man saying, "Listen, going round to Kenny's house." My agent picked me up, drove to Kenny's house, gone in the house. So gone in there. He's walked in. He's in his slippers and his pajamas and that, watching the Masters golf. And he's got that to me, cup of tea and that. I said, yeah. He says, kettle's in the kitchen. You know where to go. So I'm in the kitchen, flick the kettle on, moves on. And we had a chat for about 5 minutes, and we must have been there for about an hour and a half. We chatted for 5-10 minutes about football. The rest of the time we sat and watched the Masters, the golf. Just to make sure I was all right, and if the deal doesn't happen, that it was good. And he was brilliant. Just to play under him was amazing.
Yeah. What was he like on a day-to-day, Charlie?
He never done much of the coaching. Steve Clark done most of the coaching, so he was around there. But he was a legend. You know what I mean? He was just having a laugh and a joke with the lads. Everybody respected him, looked up to him, and he'd have the odd day where he'd like have a bit of shooting with the lads after training and that. And he was brilliant. Great guy.
What was his role like in the dressing room then on game day?
No, he was just relaxed, and he would obviously his team and set it out how he wanted to play, and Steve Clark would do a lot of the set plays with Kev Keane, but Kenny was just, listen, you're good players, like go and enjoy yourself, have a freedom to play, have a shape, and go from there. But he was top drawer as a person, but as a manager, he was brilliant,
Class, legend. I'm a Liverpool fan.
Oh, are you?
I'm a Liverpool fan, man.
Wow, yeah. So some great times there, great club. Buzzing for them to obviously going to win the league first time in 30 years, and we won the Carling Cup, got to an FA Cup final. Inconsistent in the league, really. Never done well enough in the league. The results against the teams in the lower half weren't good enough. Yeah. I ended up playing about 37 games. So I always say to people, I'm fortunate enough. I'm one of the lucky ones to play 37 games for Liverpool, and
it was very good.
Listen, it was a great. For me, I felt that the season went okay. I think I had 7 or 8 assists, a couple of goals. I played a little bit deeper than I normally did for Blackpool, but I felt I'd done all right. And listen, when a new manager comes in, it's difficult to change. It's just how that he portrayed that he wanted to go was tough for me, really, in hindsight. But no, it was that moment, standing in front of the Kop and scoring your first goal there was incredible.
What was it like playing with Stevie?
Stevie was he was a top player. You could see the difference. He was just a class above everybody else. The only thing for me was we never played enough together. Because he had a couple of injuries. He had a groin injury that kept him out for a few weeks, which got an infection, and but you could see his quality. He was a cut above everybody else. He was the best player. He was captain. He had an aura. He had a presence about. Everybody looked up to him. But talking about to a different level, that how he dragged Liverpool Football Club for a number of years. You know what I mean? And that's how I tried to do at Blackpool. Was for that 18 months I was there, I tried to drag them to a level that was different from what I was used to, and I've seen it every day and how he demanded from each other. He was a quiet person as a captain, but obviously when he spoke, everybody listened. But Cara was more of a, the one that would get after you and have a go, and wasn't afraid to have a go. Stevie was reserved, was quiet, but my God, when he got on that pitch, what a player! And yeah, he was a top player. Wow. Is he your favourite player?
Probably, mate. Without a doubt. And just
think that, at times how he dragged the club from trophies and games. Like, the top players, they just have moments in games where they could change a game like a click of a finger. Do you know what I mean? And he done that for plenty of years.
2005, mate. 2005, that night, Istanbul, and had the performance. It's just mind blowing. It's just mind blowing.
Yeah, I remember a game that we played together. I was on the bench. We played Everton. He come back from injury. I think it was one of the first 2 games back. Scored a hat trick in the cup. He was unbelievable. Do you know, but even like in the top games, like these top players, lucky United games and all that, they just step up to the mark and big moment. Like I said before, big players turn up in big moments, and he'd done it over his career for a number of years. You know what I mean?
What was he like off the park, Charlie?
Brilliant, great guy. Listen, I still speak to him now and then, there, because obviously Instagram and kids and like comment pictures and that. So we still speak now and then. He's a great guy, and he's gone into management now. So it's he's gone in quite young. So when it's something I want to get into. So to be able to have the opportunity to then when it does come, to be able to, if I could pick up the phone and speak to him or ask him a question, I think he'd be there. And it's what an experience he's having as a young manager now, being at, let's say, one of the biggest clubs, 50,000 every week. The pressure, just that's phenomenal. But
because he does come across quite stern in his interviews and stuff here, and obviously the pressure that comes with being a Rangers manager is massive.
know what that is? That's the standard of him as a person. Because he played at such a high level, he wants everybody else to be at that level, and that's what it should be as a Rangers manager and as a Rangers player. You should want to be the best. You should be trying to dominate games. And if you fall below that level, let's be honest, drawing at home or drawing away at Hamilton or a Motherwell, it's not acceptable. You need to win every single week being a Rangers player. Or if you don't, you're falling into getting criticised or having that pressure.
Yeah.
So that's the level and the standard that you have to be at every week. So no, it's a learning curve for players, but for them, it's for him, he's used to that. He's such a young age. But going back to him off the pitch, now he would just zoom in, enjoy. We'd have a beer and that, and we'd relax, and was a top guy. It was just difficult for him because of who he was and what he was.
Yeah.
It was
hard thing. That must be the hard thing as a player at Rangers as well, or for anybody playing under that kind of manager like a Roy Keane or a Steven Gerrard, and for how amazing of a player they were, and not just the ability that they had, but their ferociousness, how they just applied themselves to every game. Do you know what I mean? You just expect that.
And that's the frustration you do have, that when you, like say, if you are a top level manager and you are a top level player and you come to try and maybe play a level below, it's how you've got to adapt your coaching style and how you expect standards to be done. You will expect everybody to be at Liverpool standard, and Rangers standards should be the same as Liverpool because it's big clubs.
Yep.
But the quality of player is not going to be the level you used to playing with. So it's how you adapt. You've got to get the best players available. The mentality's got to be right to the players. And listen, he's got a group there, one or two signings, and they're not going to be far away, but it's going to be a big season for him next year.
100%, because you've got to try and stop that down.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, and that's what the focus will be.
Yeah. So, mate, going to Stoke, obviously it's the club where you spent most of your career, but the big standout is scoring not just a halfway line goal, but like 10, 15 years inside your own half, mate. What was the thought? What happened?
67 yards. No, listen, I've tried it a few times. I've tried it often enough in games. So it was due to come off sometime, wasn't it, in one of the games. I'm lucky enough. I've done it a couple of times when I was at Ross County against St Mirren, and where else? I scored one for a Blackpool. A reserve came for Blackpool against somebody, and then that game at Liverpool at Chelsea was incredible. So going back into the work that I did try and do before the game, at that time the goalie coach Andy Quiet at Stoke knew that, obviously he knows that I could pass it that long or shoot that long, and I've tried it a few times. And he said to me the day before the game, said, listen, Courtois, he likes to be on his edge. When Chelsea squeeze up the pitch or breaking, he likes to be high up on his goal, off his line, because you know what the big clubs are like. They like to dominate, like Ederson does now, comes off out his box and tries to start an attack and things like that. So he said to me, listen, Courtois likes to come off his line. If there's a chance, have a go, try it. And I went, all right, okay then. So I know that I've got the ability to pass it 60 yards, 65 yards, no problem. And so the ball's broke. Stevie Ireland's probably a foul on Hazard. Played it up to Waltz, and he said it's the best assist he's had. So he just lays it off. And I'm thinking, right, so I've got Fabregas running behind me, and I'm thinking, right, and somebody else saying, I'm probably going to get caught here. So I've run 2 or 3 yards with the ball, and I look up and I see him off his line. I thought, jackpot. So I've hit this shot, and I'm right behind it, and it just goes left to right, just curls it, and it felt like it was in the air for ages, and luckily he scrambled back, and he just missed his hand to it. Like, obviously got his hand to it, but it ended up in the net, and it was just it was an unbelievable feeling. But the celebration was shocking.
It's sweet as I can't remember seeing it from behind, but looking at it side on, mate, it's actually it looks flat drive, it's like a proper.
I've seen it from behind. It comes I've just cut across it perfect. And yeah, it was one of the goals. And
what a keeper!
That was the big thing. It was the keeper that done it. Do you know what I mean? Like Courtois was at that time one of the top goalies in the world, and like at that time, obviously David Luiz and that were coming up to me after the game, like just saying, "Wow, what a hit! Like unbelievable." Mourinho said to me in the tunnel, like after the game, saying, "Oh, one of the best goals I've ever seen," and all that, and I was just buzzing. Do you know what I mean? But we lost the game 2-1, and that was a more important thing. We lost the game, but when you score a goal like that, hopefully in 10 years' time, it's still getting shown on Sky, and people will still be watching it.
100%, mate. So Stoke. I mean, Stoke's not that far, is it? How far is it? An hour and a half.
From home for me, it's an hour and a half. Yeah. So I used to drive it. I used to drive it every day, because obviously family was settled, and just I enjoyed it. Obviously, when I went there, went there at first, Tony Pulis signed me. Went there, just felt it was the right time. Want to play games. Brendan said to me I wasn't going to play, and me. I just felt, you know what, I want to play games and probably going to get more games at Stoke. Yeah. I went to Stoke, and first game I was on the bench, which was normal because I'd only signed the day before, and then played a few games, and then obviously got up to Christmas time, and then obviously lost my dad in the Christmas period time in December, and that obviously shattered me. Like, I was gone. I had 2 or 3 days off. We played Tottenham on Saturday. I had 2 or 3 days off. So then I was back training on the Monday. Back to normal, obviously funeral and things like that. And then back to training. Never played. Never played. And then got out. Then Tony Pulis pulled me in the office, said, "No, I need to see you." Called me in and said, "Tell your agent to call me. Obviously, that I don't think this has worked out for us, for the club, and for me, for you. I don't think it's, this is best. I think it's best if you find somewhere else to go." And I was like, obviously gone through all that with my dad. It was just like, it was quite a bit. It was tough. Do you know what I mean? It was tough to take, and I was like, it's full, mate.
Where were you at, Charlie? And what was it like on and off the park after that time?
So at that time, I was obviously living away, and at that time, my missus was in London, so I was at home on my own. My missus in London. It was Christmas period, so we go to Christmas markets and things like that. So I was on my own, getting some shopping in, and my brother phoned me saying, "Listen, he was heartbroken, telling me blah blah." And I thought I was gone, like gutted, absolutely gutted. And obviously the funeral, and then went back, trained, played. And then when he told me that was tough. But as obviously my agent went into the club and spoke to him, and then he just said, and then just fortunate for me, before I'd left Liverpool, I'd played for Liverpool in the Europa League against Hearts at Tynecastle. Yep. So you can't play for 3 clubs in one season. So I'd already played for Stoke, I'd already played for Liverpool in the Europa League, so I couldn't sign for anybody else. So that stopped me leaving.
Right.
So I never played from January to about March time it was, and we were struggling at the bottom of the league. And he threw me in against QPR on the right wing, and we won 2-0. And then after that, I'd stayed in the team. So, listen, it was tough as a player, and you're thinking, well, if you were going to do that, well, what the situation I was going through, it was tough. But lucky for me, the physio there was really good. Dave Watson, he got me to speak to somebody, and I had about 6-7 sessions with this guy. Spoke to him, and that really eased me, but helped me understand what was going on in my life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Off the pitch was tough. I had a few issues that I got myself in, which was really bad and tough. But I got on with it, and I tried to do. Football was a release for me. And obviously, when the season finished, manager got sacked. Mark Hughes come in, and then it was different. Then it was just like the enjoyment was there because we were Tony Pulis. Training was just like it was the same stuff all the time. It wasn't anything different from what we got. And then obviously when the owners made the change, Mark Hughes come in with Eddie Niedzwiecki and Mark Bowen. The dynamics of the club changed. The mentality of the people changed. It was all about we need to get in the top 10. We're not accepting just staying up and things like that. It was good, and we brought a few good players in and good lads as well, and it was a great dressing room to be part of. And then your mind sort of changes and it eases a little bit. And no, it was great. It was good times.
What was the problem at Stoke then, Charlie? Because the wheels sort of just came off, did they?
The wheels just fell off, yeah. So we lost. We'd done brilliant for 4 years, and then we lost Arnautovic. Was a big player for us. He was a top player. He like you say, talk about Barry Fergs. He should have went and played for one of the big ones.
Right,
easily just made probably the offers that he got were thinking about.
Did he go to China?
No, he went to West Ham. Went to West Ham and
then China, did he?
Went to West Ham and then he went to China. But even when he went to West Ham, he was brilliant. It was he was a big loss to us. And then they spent a few quid on a few players that come in and just never got what it was all about playing for Stoke.
Yeah.
They made a few big signings, spent a few quid on a few players, and
Berahino
he was one, and Bula was one. He just never turned up. Just no. The mentality was just not the same. Do you know what I mean? Of what we were used to, and it sapped the players. Do you know what I mean? How often somebody's walking in late all the time. It's how often do you tell them as a group of players? There's only so much you can do. There's only so much in the dressing room, and it's not we gave up. We just. Yeah, it was just it was just never, the lads never enjoyed it, and there was like a disease set in there where it was just tough to get out of. You know what I mean? We weren't winning games
because there was some big players, Glenn Johnson and
but like they were good. But Phil Barnsley, John O'Ryan, Shawcross, Crouchy, John Walters. We lost people like that, Walters and Whelan, quite close to each other. They were big players. I know they were getting older in their career and that, but. They were big players for us and how they set the tone for how they played. They'd been there a long time. They knew what it was all about. And we sort of got away from that hard working, but a little bit of quality to probably more of a quality type player than we did. And it was tough to take and paid the price really. And it was a shame because it's a great club and hopefully they can get back someday in the Premier League.
Yeah. I hear they're a big club as well, mate, aren't
they? They get good support. They get 25,000. We get 30,000 in the Premier League. So it was. It's a great club, good people, good staff, good owners that look after people. Do you know what I mean? The staff there, and Tony Scholl, chief executive, they're good people, and that's what you want to work for, good people. So, hopefully one day they can get back to the Premier League, and it'll be interesting to see how they go because. At the moment, they've still got the hangover of the Premier League, and they've got a lot of players there at the moment, so they're going to have to change in the summer the players. And when you do that, it will be tough. But Michael's gone in there and done a decent job from where they were.
Yeah, getting them some points, mate. So Charlie, 26 Scotland caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel you should have 60, 70? 80. I do. I believe you should have.
I should have at least. Yeah, I should have had more. It's tough. I'd start. Does
that frustrate you?
Oh, hugely. Hugely, it frustrated me. That's a big disappointment. That I'm saying only for 26 caps. It's to have one cap for Scotland is a dream, but. If you add to more, talking if you can get into your 40s and things like that, it's different. I would love to have had more Scotland caps, but it is what it is. Some managers fancy you, some managers take to you, some don't. And
what do you think it was that rocked the Scotland career?
I don't know. Just I never got the answer. I never got told. I never got. I got told one day that I wouldn't be in the squad because he wanted to look at younger players. And then when the squad came out, there was hardly any younger players in my position. So was difficult to take.
Because as a fan, and you're watching it, and you're seeing the Scotland team going up, and you're on the bench, or you're not even in the squad. I mean, and that's frustration as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
It's frustrating as a player because if you getting to know, like I say, know me. I always back my ability. I always, as good as better than what was in the squad at the time. Do I believe that? Absolutely. People, there was players playing at big clubs and Celtic and things like that, but still believe that I was good enough to warrant being in a squad of 25 players. You know what I mean? It wasn't as if I was saying I should be playing. It was like, at least I felt that I should be still in the squad, but it wasn't to be. And it's been a number of years now since I've not been in the Scotland squad, and I've had 26 caps, and it was great times. Some good moments, some bad moments, but it's an honour to play for my country, and I take the caps that I've got with pride.
100%. And I wasn't meaning only 26 caps, because that's a massive achievement. But I was just meaning.
No, it is. But like, and what you think I could have got. But listen, it is what it is, and it was great, and great to be part of it.
It's good. So what's life like now, Charlie?
Life at the moment is all right. It's tough because family is still up north, and I'm obviously in London at Reading. We've got 9 games to go. Tough 9 games, but if we can get a few wins and start from this break quick, you never know what can happen. But no, it was a decision I had to make last summer. I was out of contract at Stoke, and I had one or two things that were there. And Mark Bowen, who was director of football at the time, phoned me up and said, "Listen, I want you to come in. Got good experience, be in the dressing room, be a good lad in the dressing room, help the dressing room. We were young dressing room, a little bit inexperienced. I want you to come in, different mentality, that winning mentality where the club's been losing a bit near the bottom of the league. I want you to come in and try and change the mentality of the players where we need to win every week and do that." So hopefully I've done that. Feel like I've done that, and scored a few goals this season, which was good. Played my part on and off the pitch, and got 9 games to go, and hopefully I can contribute in the games, and we'll see what happens when that finishes. But I want to keep playing. I love the game, love playing, and still feel that I've still got a few years to go and can offer some good things to a football club.
Definitely. How long have you got on your contract there?
I'm at the end of the season, so basically it extends till when these 9 games are finished, and obviously we're in the middle of this crisis. Everything's changed in football now. Things are going to change quickly. With clubs, players, and there's going to be a lot of players out of contract. So if you do get a contract next season, you're going to have to earn it. So it's we'll see what happens. But I definitely want to keep playing. I'm still hungry, ambition. Still feel like I play at a very good level. Feel fit, like I said before. So no, that's I'm looking forward to seeing what the next few years bring, because football is what I've been doing for a number of years, and I want to keep doing it.
Outstanding, mate. Outstanding. And I know you mentioned earlier on you're on about you want to go into management.
Yeah.
You've been doing your badges not just now, or are you waiting?
No. I've done the B license halfway through the A license. Well, need to do the assessment for the A license. It's definitely something I want to look at. Trying to, I'm always watching. I try and, because I'm doing it on my own. I try and get out maybe once a week, watch a game. If it's any games that are local here, or even if I'm up road, I try and get to a game just to see what's out there. Do you know what I mean? And learning, and watching YouTube and all these coaching things and reading books. Just trying to get knowledge, and it's not the same as actually getting on the grass and coaching. But if you can take little bits from whatever's out there, then great. And hopefully, if I do get an opportunity later in my life and management career, then it'll stand me in good stead. And that's something that I definitely want to get into.
Spot on. Well, mate, I'm just going to, because we're live as well, I'm going to open it up. So if anybody is watching, we've got loads of comments here, Charlie. I don't know. Could you see the comments?
No, I can't.
No.
Is it a chat?
Like, no. I don't know how.
No. I can't see any comments.
I'm new to this as well, mate, so I don't know how you kind of see them, but I could see them. But if anybody's got any questions, fire away. I'll scroll through the comments and see if there's anything else being put in, and
yeah,
I'll fire them over to you before we go. But
absolutely.
But, yeah.
Oh, I think I can see them now.
As a Dundee United and Millwall fan, enjoyed seeing you come to the Den. Good luck for the playoffs.
For the playoffs. I know I got a bit of abuse at Millwall. Good place. First time I've been there, and I really enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? Good, intimidated crowd. No, it was good experience because I'd never played there, and Leeds was the same. First time I played at Leeds earlier in the season, so people talk about the history of these clubs, and it was a good experience to go there and play.
Millwall will probably be one of the clubs who will suffer playing behind closed doors, eh?
Yeah, they will, because even I think it might work for Leeds better because of the pressure of where they are in the league and no crowd. They'll be able to play with, a freedom of going and playing, no crowd. It's a tough place to play, Leeds. The expectation, what happened to them last year, falling away, and then obviously they're up there again this year. I think it'll be better for them. I think it'll suit them not playing it with a crowd.
Yeah. John Thompson saying we were playing at Soccer World when Holloway was trying to phone him, trying to sign him.
Where? Playing at Soccer World?
We were playing at Soccer World when Holloway was trying to phone him.
Up at Kirton, innit? I was up there with my dad, playing 5 or 6 and that with the lads, yeah.
What else we got? There's people saying they were at Wembley. Great weekend. With the Fintry squad.
Probably.
St Mirren fan here. Charlie was instrumental in our promotion in 2006. How much did you enjoy your time at Paisley?
I loved it. Like I say, great club. It was a great experience going there with Andy and Gus and that, and getting the experience of playing every weekend. And winning a cup and winning the league was great. But no, I really enjoyed it, and still keep in contact with some of the lads and the manager there now, so it's good.
It's good. We've got a lot of comments, mate. People are saying, when you signing for the D, when you pulling on a tangerine.
Listen, it's people keep asking me that, but it's I just focus on these 9 games, and then we'll see where it comes. People, contact my agent. It's no problem. Like, I'm open to anything really. It's what's best for the family and what's right for me to keep playing, and still believe that I could, wherever I go, I'm going to contribute to the club and to a team.
I'm just going to take this question. Maybe if I just that one there. There we go. Who's the hardest player you've played against? Technical ability and also the toughest?
Well, played against the top players in the world. Do you know what I mean? De Bruyne was incredible. I love watching David Silva play. Just a magician. You know what I mean? Obviously, you got to put Stevie into there. But I always felt that I found that, I always never played really well. Scott Parker was tough for me. He was always in your face, aggressive. Never gave you a minute's peace. Was just relentless and all the time. Do you know what I mean? He was the one that was like right on there. But let's say talking about your Gerrard, Lampards, Yaya Toure was powerhouse.
Oh, wow.
SCN, just all different types of players could cause you problems in that. But it was just they're all top players. You know what I mean? So I'm lucky in that sense that I've played against some of the best ones in the world.
Quality, mate. So one more. We'll go to the last one. This must be a Blackpool fan here. Right. What's your prediction for Blackpool next season?
The prediction for them is, I think that if they can get 7 good players with a bit, experience, some good loans, because the manager will be able to get some good loans from Liverpool if he can. I think they'll have a right good chance. I think the owner will could spend a little bit of money, and they could be the dark horse in League One for next season. That's what I think. I think they will. Let's say the manager looks like he's been able to bring his players in that he wants. So if they can get a few good players in with a couple of top loans, then they'll be right up there next season.
Brilliant. Well, mate, I don't know how long we've been on for. I don't even know how long.
I'm on 45.
An hour and 45.
Yeah.
Mate, and thanks so much for coming on.
Dino, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
Great, mate. Anything before you go or anything like that? Are you good?
No, great. All good, thank you.
Outstanding. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate the shares. Appreciate the comments. Thanks so much. And we shall see you again soon. Oh, a wee plug actually. Because Charlie's on and obviously being a footballer, we've got some amazing guests coming on. But football-wise, we've got Ross Wallace, Kevin McNaughton, amongst a few others coming up over the next couple of weeks. So make sure you like the page. I just started it today. It's only got 4 or 5 people who have liked it instead of just being on my normal Facebook.
Right, so what also as well, let's try and get a few shares in that. I'll get a West Sign shirt to somebody that if you want to pick out somebody at random, if you can, yeah.
Superb, mate.
Yeah.
Superb.
Yeah.
What will we do? How will we do that? Okay, so what? Share the post.
Share it, and then we'll pick somebody at random, and I'll send them I'll send you the shirt, and you can send it on, or I'll send it straight to them. It's no problem.
Look at that, man! Outstanding, mate. Love it. Thank you so much, mate.
Yeah. No problem. Speak to you soon, mate.
Have a good one.
Cheers, pal. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.